Welcome to the Know Where You Want to Go Travel Podcast. My name is Cam DeJong, your host, and we're getting right into the content today. No intro, no outro. You can consider this a bit of a construction zone as we're revamping some aspects of the creative around the podcast, but still here with some great content that we believe will be very helpful for you on your travel ventures. Today's episode goes into the maturity and the evolution of Virgin Voyages. And to better understand this, we have to go back a few years to the launch of Virgin Voyages, which was delayed, like so many things were, by COVID-19, the pandemic, and so much going on around the world. And we had the honor to be one of the first to sail in the United States on Scarlet Lady, which is going through a dry dock right now, and you can learn more about that online as well. A lot of great things happening there. And we really spent a lot of time, learning Virgin Voyages, learning the ship, learning what they aspired to be. And during that time, there was the growing pains. The staff was limited. The staff was still learning as well. So much of it was everybody learning together. What is Virgin Voyages going to be? What is their aspiration? What is their inspiration forward? And it was a big learning lesson for us all. There were some, missteps with the app, and there was some miscommunication when it came to events and having things happening on time, occurring on time, and really just the growing pains. But you kind of got a hint a few years ago that Virgin Voyages was going in an R-rated sense, in a way, where they would have shows that talked about sex and very risque, very liberal. And I don't mean liberal politically, but just liberal minded in the sense of how they were moving things forward then. If you look at the maturity and how things have changed, we start with the passengers. The sailors, the sailor base, who are they and what's happening there? And a few years ago, a lot of the sailors, if not most of the sailors for a while, were travel agents getting to know the business. But there was a little bit of mix there of people that probably didn't belong on a Virgin Voyages ship. And in that, I don't mean that people don't belong because of any bad reason, but because it wasn't really for them. It wasn't the ship for them. And it was typically older sailors, retirees, those that have sailed probably Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Princess, and other cruise lines, and they just wanted to dip into Virgin Voyages without really knowing much about it. Well, I would say that today, as of the sailing that we went on earlier this month on October 2nd, there's a couple of things that are likely happening. One is travel consultants are selling Virgin Voyages to people that don't need to be on Virgin Voyages. And two, people are booking Virgin Voyages without really knowing what in the world they're getting into. And as part of this maturation and evolution of Virgin Voyages, they have really steered away quite a bit from the R-rated element. There's still some somewhat risque behavior in the shows, but it's nothing earth-shattering. It's nothing you wouldn't find on another cruise line. But you're not going to see sex shows. You're going to see magic shows and comedy shows instead. A little more mainstream. The efficiencies have gotten a lot better. It's super efficient to get into the restaurant at your dining time, to be served quickly and efficiently with a smile, which has always been the case. With a smile, the crew has always been amazing to that degree. And everything is super premium. And it should be. I think a few years ago, you would go in and see it being premium and wondering, hey, is this really what Virgin Voyages should be at this point? So they've evolved a lot. And there's many crew on board that have been with Virgin Voyages for 4 years. And they're really setting the standard for things and doing things in a great way with the whole experience. But let me get back for a moment to the sailors. As I mentioned a few years ago, a lot of the sailors on a Virgin Voyages ship were maybe retirees, older. They've cruised 100, if not hundreds of cruise line, or not cruise lines, but cruise ships and cruises in the past. And they just kind of jumped aboard Virgin Voyages to see what it was all about. I really do believe that a lot of what's happening is travel agents are selling to people that don't need to be on the cruise, that don't need to be on a Virgin Voyages cruise. It's not the fit for them. And this really came into light one evening at one of the bars where I was stepping up to have a drink, and someone was, really intoxicated and really, really belligerent towards the bar staff. And they said to me in a kind of a drunken stupor that they worked at a bar, and when people came into the bar they worked at, the expectation was, hey, I want a drink, and you made the drink and gave it to them. There was no time wasted, no BS. We just got things going. And I saw the crowd she was with, and I really do want to avoid being judgmental, but it was not a crowd that fits Virgin Voyages. It was a crowd that fits a local dive bar. And there's nothing wrong with local dive bars. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. I love a local dive bar, but I don't go on Virgin Voyages expecting a local dive bar where I order $1 beer and it's kind of thrown in my face. But that was the expectation of these folks. And they weren't alone with these expectations. There were people that, while most people you talk to would say they enjoyed the food, there were a number of people that were happy with the cheeseburgers, happy with the other offerings in the galley, which is totally fine. But they were visibly uncomfortable. They were visibly out of place. They were visibly, and in some cases audibly, on the wrong cruise line, not on the wrong cruise ship, because all 4 of Virgin's cruise ships are going to be a very similar experience, with the possible exception of Scarlet Lady with the dry dock I mentioned earlier. This is a real issue. One, it's an issue of education, and that starts with the travel consultants, the travel agents. We as travel agents have to do a better job of selling the right product, the right service to the right person for the right time on the right ship, on the right cruise line, to the right destination, whatever that may be. And that's not to say that all of these folks that were misplaced were sold this cruise by a travel agent. Don't get me wrong. I can't say it enough. They may have, and very well could have, self-booked. But there is a problem because Virgin Voyages offers competitive commission to travel consultants. Now, I'm not saying you should run out and get your travel agency certification and become an agent, a first mate with Virgin Voyages, because it's not an easy process. And there's a lot of folks that are agents that probably shouldn't be because of a lack of education on Virgin Voyages and other cruise lines if they're trying to sell multiple options. So I would say that if you're working a full-time job and you're looking at doing this as a side gig, you might want to think twice, about that. You have to become educated on this. You can't just say, I'm getting X amount of commissions, so let me sell this to all my friends and family and push them towards Virgin Voyages because this sailing's on a discount, or this sailing's off season, or this sailing is on a 4-nighter, so it's going to be a less expensive sailing for them, but I'm still going to earn a respectable commission. So I'll just get them out there, and then they get out to sea and they're like, where in the heck am I at? Where in the world have I been sent? What ship is this? Why am I here? You have to be careful with that. But back to the maturation, back to this evolution of Virgin Voyages. When we sailed in 2021, we did a back-to-back. We sailed on the Rockstar Quarters on one half and on the Mega Rockstar Quarters on the second half. We've said since then that the Rockstar Quarters far exceeded our expectations compared to the Mega Rockstar Quarters. Our roadie, as they're called now, Mega Rockstar agents, our roadie then, as they were called, was good. He was a good guy. He just wasn't what one would expect for the price that's paid for Mega Rockstar. You fast forward to now, and they really have done a wonderful job of evolving what you get as a Mega Rockstar. We were treated with great respect, and we're very respectful ourselves. We're super respectful, beyond respectful to staff and to other sailors and to everyone around us. And that's why it bothers me so much that that bar staff is being belittled by this person who did not belong on a cruise ship. But back to the point here, Alex was I keep calling him roadie. He was the Mega Rockstar agent. He was absolutely amazing. And if you ever sail on Valiant Lady, or he may change cruise ships eventually, but if you want to ever go to Mega Rockstar Experience, of course, get in touch with us at KWYWTG Travel. We're glad to help you. But what we found an amazing deal on Mega Rockstar, and what you get from Mega Rockstar is amazing. But, just the whole experience has gotten better. The behind the scenes shows that we were invited to, the birthday, it was my birthday during our cruise, having that experience, and not just the Mega Rockstar agent Alex setting things up, but also at dinner, they had it in their system that it was my birthday, and they treated me well. And I don't go wanting to have a staff. I don't go to a restaurant on my birthday asking or demanding or wanting to be sung happy birthday, but that just happened there, and it was really great. But everything really worked like clockwork. Check-in, leaving the ship, disembarking. The customs process was way, way easier than it was a few years ago. The new terminal that Virgin Voyages is in is so amazing. It was just so easy getting off the ship. And I recommend, and what we did, and I always recommend this, is you take your own bags off the ship. Don't have them sitting out the night before, because that's just an extra step the next day. Just roll them down and get on the elevator and take them off the ship. But the staff was friendly. Again, they've always been friendly. It's not that they've become friendlier, but it's consistency. It's consistency. You're going to pay more for a Virgin Voyage, especially at the Rockstar, Mega Rockstar level, than you are for other cruise lines. But you are truly getting what you're paying for. You're truly going to have a wonderful experience if it's the right cruise ship for you. And if you go to KWYWTG and click on our section on Virgin Voyages, there's a quiz on there that will help you determine if you're a fit for Virgin Voyages. I wish that 20, 30, maybe more, maybe a little bit less percentage of people that were deer-eyed and like a deer in headlights on Virgin Voyages. I wish they would have taken this quiz to determine whether or not they should have been on board. And with any vacation, any trip that you take, this is so important that you research it and that you understand it and that you ensure that you're not wasting your hard-earned money on a trip. And when you're working with an agent or a travel consulting group, you need to ask them the tough questions about the destination or the cruise line you're wishing to book with them. If you're looking to book with Virgin Voyages, ask them the differences in the ships, the destinations, Mega Rockstar versus Sea Terrace versus XL Sea Terrace versus Interior versus Solo Quarters. There's so many different aspects of Virgin Voyages to know. What's the difference between Razzle Dazzle and the Wake? What is Pink Agave and what is Gun Bay, and what does it mean when you play the Gun Bay game? What does it mean when you see the happening cast, and what is a foodie, and what is, everything, the gamer, there's so many different things. Who are these people? What kind of entertainment is going on the ship? What are the shows? What is We Fancy, Scarlet Night? You have to ask these questions of your travel consultant, because if they don't know, some of these are basic questions to be answered. And if they don't have the answers to them, you need to find someone that does, or you're going to set yourself up for a mistake booking a trip on Virgin Voyages. Just do your research. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help with this. This entire 28 now episodes of my podcast, of the Know Where You Want to Go travel podcast by KWYWTG Travel, has always been here to bring to light information that is here to help you. Now, this is streamed into one of my longest episodes because I'm very, very passionate about this topic, that you understand, that you know where you want to go based on we knowing where you want to go. So thank you. Thank you so very much. I look forward to being back again very soon. We are still working to line up more guests and great content for you here. If you have any questions about Virgin Voyages, go to KWYWTGtravel.com. I'm going to put the link to this and some other links in the show notes. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for listening to all of our episodes. And you should hear our new soundtrack on future episodes. So please follow or subscribe to our podcast, and leave a comment. Leave any questions you have. We're here for you. Thank you so very much. We'll talk to you next time. Thank you for joining the Know Where You Want to Go Travel Podcast.